YouTube, what's going on? Yeah, I'm at home right now, man. I'm at home. I wanted to make this video about. I got a viewer that left a comment and he was asking. Well, he's kind of making a statement, but he was asking, like, because he talked to other drivers where some of the loads, a lot of the loads are not, the good paying loads are not the way that they used to be. And I mean, that may be true, but you gotta understand, this is business. Schneider is a business. I have a business set up with Schneider. I have an LLC. And you gotta understand, when you coming on the business side of trucking, things are a little bit different. It's the same, but it's different. You still moving freight, but your responsibility and a lot of things change as far as you getting a truck and you leasing it on with a company. And you got to come with the idea that you got to be ready to deal with change as business changes. So right now, the Schneider Choice board is a little full. It's a lot of guys on the board. But it's not saying that you can't make no money. You can make some money. You know what I mean? Like, the viewer, his name is Tavis May. Look, man, come on and get on the board, man. Don't be scared. Like, if you want to get on the board, get on it. If not Schneider's board, go somewhere else. Because if you're a company driver right now, you're wasting your time, man. Like, I can tell you right now, I've been in this business like 8-9 years, and all that time I was a company driver, and I only been doing the owner-operator side, leasing this truck for 7 months. And I'm thinking, like, man, I should have done this long time ago. And I'm telling you, I don't want you to, like, make a mistake and waste your time being a company driver making 30-40 cents a mile when you can come out here and make $1, $1.50, $1.50, $2 a mile on these loads and take more money home and be more fulfilled with what you're doing. Because I talk to guys, like, they running 3,000 miles a week and making $500, $600, $700 a week, man. That's a lot of work. Don't let nobody tell you running 3,000 miles a week ain't no work. That's a lot of work. Like, you running like 11 hours a day, 10, 11 hours a day for 6 days straight. That's a lot of work, man, for $500, $600 a week. Now, don't get me wrong. $500, $600 a week is some money. It's some money. But compared to what you could be making, what a CDL is worth, you gotta define what your worth is. That's what Woody's drone, he's got a channel. Everybody know Woody. He talks about this kind of stuff. And, like, you got to look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, what are you worth? Are you worth 20 cents a mile, or are you worth $2 a mile? Are you worth $500 a week, or are you worth $2,500 a week? You got to make that decision on your own. Worrying about the loads sitting on the load board for 30 minutes and how fast the loads, the loads on the board come and go. But that's any business. The business is competitive. You got to be prepared to be ready for business. That's how business is. Even as a company driver, when I was a company driver, it's very competitive. You got to talk to the load planner and check in with the load planner and say, hey, what kind of loads you got? That's the same thing as riding on the load board. It's the same thing. You just responsible for your truck. So it's like trucking is very competitive. It's a hustling mentality. If you want to go and get a regular job and just sit on the clock and punch a clock, well, go do that. But you gotta understand, this is trucking. You gotta be prepared to hustle in this business. I like it. Like when I go on a load board, and that's another thing. When you go on this load board, you gotta give yourself some time to learn the board and learn the customers. It doesn't matter if the loads sit on the board for 10 seconds. It don't matter. Once you learn the customers and learn the lanes, you will be that driver getting those loads that disappear off the board after 5 minutes, because you know in this city loads come up at a certain time, and you know you're gonna be ready and you're gonna position yourself every week to get those loads, because you will be that driver. You know what I mean? Just because the loads don't sit on the board that long, of course the loads don't sit on the load board that long. Schneider wants the loads to move. They want the freight move. Like, that makes sense. It doesn't make sense for loads to be sitting on the load board for hours. Because if the loads are sitting on the load board for that long, they're going to take those loads and give them to their company drivers, or they're going to broker the freight out to somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like, I can tell you now, when I look at that load board, there are loads that sit on that load board for a long period of time. But typically, guys don't want them loads. That's why they sitting there. You know what I mean? They don't pay nothing, or they're a hassle. The customer, there's a lot of drama with that particular customer. Nobody don't want to pull the load, so the load to sit there for 2 days. You don't want that load. You want the loads that don't sit on the board. Those are hot loads. They pay good. You want those loads. Trucking is very competitive. That's kind of what I want to say. So it's like, you want to be that driver to be in the position to get those hot loads. So what if the loads don't sit on the board that long? Be that driver to get that load that don't sit on the load that long, the load board that long. So, as well, I want to say that, don't be scared, man. Like, if you don't get on with Schneider, my point is to go get a truck, man. Go get a truck, man. It's like, don't waste your time. I'm sorry, I'm looking. Don't waste your time being a company driver. Being a company driver is a waste of time, man. Like, I bump into guys that have been driving for 10, 15, 20 years, and they've been a company driver this whole time. And I'm like, damn, man, you could have had 2-3 trucks paid off now. You could have had a fleet of trucks by now. Not everybody wants to run a company. That's cool. But even if you just a one-man operation, and like, you can just go get a truck, pay it off, and just run that truck. If you don't want a fleet of trucks, you just want one truck, okay, that's fine. Because the idea is that when you have a truck in the trucking business is very valuable. Your time is very valuable. Once you get a truck and obtain an asset and you put it on with a company is gonna pay you to move that load. You know what I mean? Once you get a truck, you can go get a truck, put it on with a company, and make $1,000 a day. You can't do that as a company driver. You know what I mean? Sure, you got to pay fuel and all that. That's fine. But your revenue, once you pay your truck off and you put your truck on with a company and you start pulling loads, you can make $1,000 a day, $1,500 a day, $2,000 a day. You can't do that as a company driver. It's a waste of your time to stay as a company driver making $200-$300 a day. Yeah, you got to put up with the headaches of a truck, but you got to plan and have goals to set yourself up to where when your truck is paid off, you got to have some money put back to buy tires. I got another video about that, but you just got to have money put back so you can run your business. You can run your truck. I mean, to me, it's so small. That little idea is so small, and I would take a paid for truck any day of being a company driver, because you make way more money. Your time is valuable. Like, your time here on this planet is very valuable. Why waste your time being a company driver making $1,000 a week, $1,100-1,200 a week, unless you driving for FedEx or something, or UPS, making $80,000 a year, or you a Walmart company driver? That's an exception. But if you just driving for a common carrier like Schneider, JB Hunt, Warner, Prime, it's best for you to go and get a truck and pay it off. And as soon as you pay it off, all that money goes in your pocket. You don't have to work hard. You know, you just run 2 or 3 loads a week and you go home. You can make $2,000 a week. Don't even sweat. Just run a couple loads and put $2,000 in your pocket. You can't do that as a company driver. So this video is kind of like an addition to my other video of not being afraid of getting a truck. You know, don't be scared to go get a truck, man. Like, business is business. Like, you come on this choice board, like, it's a lot of loads on this board. You know what I mean? Like, even if you don't get the hot loads, if you take some of the cheap loads and piece them together, like, you can put 2 $300 loads. That'll give you $600 a day. Or you can put together 2 $400 loads that go, like, a $400 load usually go about 200 miles, right? If you go on the board, you look, you see a load going about 150, 200 miles, paying about $400. Then out of that same area that you delivered, that $400 load, you can pick up another one coming back to your same area, like coming back to your house. Like, I live in Atlanta, so a lot of those loads will go out, and then I can book another load out of that same area coming right back to Atlanta. You know, that'll give you $800 for the day. You know, after your daily costs for fuel for that day, you would net $500-600 in your pocket. You know what I mean? Like, you can't do that as a company driver unless you drive for UPS or FedEx or Walmart. You know, one of those, you know, top fleets in trucking. But if you drive for a common carrier, like, man, go get you a truck, man. If not Schneider, Prime, somewhere, get started and put you in the direction of owning equipment. You know, you want that. You want to own your equipment. You make more money that way. Yeah, you got to put up a little bit of maintenance, but it'll pay off in the long run. You know, you take care of your truck, man, it's going to take care of you. And, like, you can go, and your license is good, your record is good, you can drive for anywhere, and you're going to have guaranteed income for the rest of your life. As long as you got a truck and a CDL, you can put your truck on and put $1,000 a day in your pocket. You know what I mean? And it's just like, don't be scared of the choice board, man. Like, right now, the choice board, I know this video is getting long, but I'm gonna say this. Right now, the choice board is a little flooded. So Schneider, they cut back the hiring. So, you know, they added time to the hiring requirements. So the hiring requirements, I think, is a year right now. You know, like, I think you required to have a year experience. I think they require you to have your hazmat and your tankers and all of that. What else? And right now, for guys who have their own trucks, I think it's like 2 or 3 months wait to get on the choice board. And then for guys who don't have a truck, you can get on within a couple weeks to a month if you was to lease one of Schneider's trucks. And Schneider does sells used trucks, so you can buy a used truck from Schneider. They got, you know, some used trucks. But I would do it, man. Like, don't let nobody tell you or scare you out of doing something. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's a lot of people on the choice board, but it's a lot of fucking loads on the choice board. It's like, at any given time, I can punch in any city in this country and, like, hundreds of loads come up. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna have some freight to move, man. You won't get the top choice loads, but it's plenty of loads on that load board. Them loads ain't going nowhere, man. Like, don't be scared. Like, you might have to run a little harder than the next guy, but once you just got to give yourself some time to learn the board. Once you start learning these customers, it don't even matter. It wouldn't even matter how long the loads stay on the load board. Because I know, since I've been running the load board, I know that certain areas, certain customers are at. I know that certain loads come up during the week. Certain time of the day, they post their loads. It's like clockwork. I know between like noon and like 3 o'clock, particular customers put their loads on the load board. And you have to learn that. You have to take time to learn that. I know that certain customers put their loads on the load board on the weekend. I know that certain customers, they put their loads on in the morning. I mean, it's, you just got to take time to learn the board and learn those customers that you want to pull for, and take that time out and learn the lanes that you want to run. And it just takes time. Don't be scared of it, man. Like, like I've talked to guys when I first got on. When I first got on the board, it was some guys telling me, "Oh man, it ain't good as it used to be, man. You used to make 5,000-6,000 a week and all of that, and lows used to be this and that." Yeah, but that may be true, but I mean, still, like, it's still good, man. I still make decent money, man. And I'm home, man. I'm home every week, man. Like, I don't stay out there on that road that long. I run about 6 days, but that's how I run. You can run how you want to run, but that's how I run. I talk to guys, they run 2-3 weeks and then go home. They run all over the country. I don't do that because, like, I've done that, and I don't see the benefits in my revenue. I just end up burning more fuel running around the country. You know what I mean? And you end up paying more road tax, because when you're running through all these states and burning fuel through all these states, your road tax gonna be higher. Like, I stay in about 3-4 states, about 3-4-5 states, and my road tax be about $50-$60 a month. You know what I mean? When you start running all these states, burning all that fuel, like, I used to have road tax about $200-$300 a month, paying my monthly road tax, use tax, my IFTA taxes. And like, you're gonna be spending more money on fuel. You're gonna be buying, you're gonna be paying more in road tax. It just doesn't matter. It don't make sense to me to be running all over the country where I can run Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, and Louisiana, Arkansas, and be home every weekend. You know what I mean? Or not even every weekend, but just every week, man. I'm home every weekend, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I deadhead a lot. And the deadhead don't matter. Like, I still gross $4,500 a week, man. Like $4,000 a week, $3,800 a week, and I still take home, after expenses, I take home, some good money, man. Like, it's like, you save your money, you take care of your truck. I don't talk to nobody, man. Like, I mean, the choice board is great, man. Like, you just gotta come on over here. If you don't come over here, try some other company. But I mean, it's great. I wouldn't go nowhere else but here. I would go Schneider, Prime, KLM, or I'm sorry, I'm looking at my neighbor over here. Yeah, man, there's a bunch of companies out there, man. Like, because the thing is, you want to put yourself in a position where you paying for equipment and you paying it off, and you want to own your equipment after a certain amount of time. All right, this video is running kind of long. It was just a rant, man. It was just a rant, because it's just like, I bump into guys, and like, I used to be one myself, but like, I've got over that fear, you know what I mean? Because it's like, I see the benefits of having your own truck, man. It's like, go get your own truck, man. Like, lease a truck, lease, purchase, whatever, man. Like, put yourself in a position where you owning the equipment you know, and stop slaving up and down the road for nothing. You know, you just wasting your time. You know,